Have you ever felt stuck, like you couldn't get any further in life? Have you ever wondered how you can ascend in life and get farther? Today I'm introducing Maslow's Hierarchy of Needs. This is a psychological theory founded upon humanistic psychology, which is a branch of psychology that is about each person fulfilling themselves and becoming a better version of themselves. So one of the few theories in life that I actually agree with as someone that doesn't believe half the bullshit that they spew or they teach in school. This is one that actually makes sense. So I like this one. It makes sense because it just makes sense. So humanistic psychology. Abraham Maslow, he was a psychologist back in the old days, and he came up with this theory. His theory was based upon, for you to get to the best version of yourself or the fullest version of yourself, you must first transcend up the pyramid of survival needs, safety needs, love and belonging, self-esteem, and self-actualization. Physiological or survival needs. These are the needs that you must get over before you can ascend at all. These are food, water, air, right? You gotta, before you can focus on buying a house, you gotta be able to feed yourself, right? How you gonna focus on buying a new car but you can't eat, right? So he says physiological and survival, these are basic needs. And it makes sense because I agree with it, because if you are hungry, how the fuck you supposed to care about what the fuck your career doing? You know what I'm saying? How you supposed to care about, you know what I'm saying? You gotta feed yourself first, because these are the needs that when you don't have it, it's gonna come to the forefront. It's gonna be the main thing you think about. When you don't have food, what do you think about? That's all you think about is food. When you can't breathe, all you can think about in that moment is not breathing. When you don't have any rest or any sleep, lack of sleep, all you can think about is sleeping. So this is why it's at the bottom. You gotta transcend this. You gotta be able to have the food, the shelter, the water. If you don't have water, what you gonna think about? Water. Think about getting something to drink. So you gotta transcend this level. You wanna do this by, you can transcend this level by fulfilling needs, but a lot of it in our society, it's not as barbaric as the times where he was alive. So in our society, it's more so about money. You will achieve all this by money for the most part, except for rest, I would say. At least in America. So you want to achieve this, and you want to save your money, because if you live paycheck to paycheck, you'll forever be stuck here. If you spend your money on bullshit, you're gonna forever be stuck here. Hey, you want to save some because you want to transcend and make it up the ladder. And one thing that I feel like he left out is that you want to transcend in order, right? But you can't jump from one to the other. You can't go from here and have a spark of self-actualization or immense creativity or a spark, and then you can fall back down. You can fall back down. Or you could fucking be barely eating, barely surviving, barely don't have no water, don't have no food, and you can find the love of your life. You can have friends and all that. But at some point, you're gonna fall back down, right? You're gonna fall back down. So I feel like you can bounce up, but also come back down, unless these are transcended. And also, even if it is transcended, you could fall down with poor management. If you're here, you love and belonging, but you blow all your money or something, or you know what I'm saying, you gamble your money away, or natural disaster happens, you can't be forced back down here. So you can't fall down. After you pass the first level, or psychological or survival, or have fulfilled those needs, you move up to safety needs. And these are the needs for stability, needs for security, and need for a foundation to get you further, right? After you transcend the bare needs, the bare animalistic needs that you need to live, like food and water and air, then you can focus on achieving farther success in society, achieving more success in society, such as investing, such as buying a house, such as building a business, right? I mean, you can build a business when you don't have food, but you're more likely gonna buy food, right? But once you get that fulfilled, you can focus on getting a business, you can focus on buying a house, you can focus on things outside of bare survival, I gotta do this right now, let's just take it off my brain, right? So in our society, it's through financial. It's through, you got a good job, you got your expenses in order. Now you can transcend. But if you don't get your expenses in order, if you stop buying bullshit, if you don't get a car payment, $1,100 car payment, and it may take all the food out your mouth, then you're stuck here for a few years, right? And the job system is built to keep you in this state of survival. That's why they got things like minimum wage, right? If you got $7.25, if you're getting $7.25, how the fuck you supposed to go up and buy a house? It's not gonna work, right? So the system is built to keep you down here. So you gotta understand that it's gonna want to keep you down there, right? So, but once you do transcend this, if you are able to, if you have the means to transcend the first level, we're gonna go to safety needs, and these are security. So security could be any type of security, financial security, home security, all types of security. But let's go physical, right? So if you're down here, if you're stuck down here, let's assume you're not living in the best circumstances. Let's assume you're not in the safest environment. You don't have the most money, right? Because if you did, you wouldn't have too much of a problem with any of these, right? If you have, except for rest could be, you can have a lot of money and not get no rest. You know what I'm saying? Just because you're working a lot or you got kids and all that. So that one's a little different. But let's assume if you're up here, you got your money together. You know what I'm saying? So physical security. When you're down here, you got no say so. If you ain't got no money, you got no say so where you live, right? You stuck wherever you are for the most part. You may have to go down. You might have to go to a worse place because it's gonna be cheaper. So for you to get physical security, you may have to move to a different place. But before you can move to a different place, you got to get the money. You got to be able to transcend this so you can get the security. And that can be financial security. Before you can get financial security, you got to be able to feed yourself, right? Out of what you're going to be financially secure and starving. That don't make sense, right? So stability, that could be like financial stability, any type of stability. Buying a house is stability. There's all forms of stability. Investing is a form of stability. Investing long term, 401ks, IRAs, Roth, all that. It's a form of stability. Freedom from fear. You wanna, right here, this is direct fear. When you're struggling and you don't have food, oxygen, shelter, all that, you're in fear. But now you're trying to transcend from fear. Health. You wanna focus on your health more. When you're down here, you don't have no say so. You gotta eat, you gotta drink whatever they give you. You gotta drink whatever you can get. You gotta drink the plastic water with the BPA and shit in it. You gotta buy the food, the terrible food that's clogging your arteries and sending you to the hospital. Right? But now that you're here, you got more options over your food. You can work out more. You can do all that. You can focus on yourself. But when you're down here, if I was down here, I wouldn't focus on working out. I would focus on buying expensive water. Because I'm the type I buy like water in the glass and shit. But when I was down here, I wasn't. You know what I'm saying? But you can focus on your health. You can do things that make sense for your body. You can take care of yourself because health is wealth, as you understand. Health is wealth. And property. You're not buying a property when you can't eat. So once you move up, you can get the property, you can get all that. So safety needs, you want to be safe, you want to feel secure, you want to feel like you have a cushion, a layer of cushion in case anything goes wrong. Emergency funds, that's a good one. Emergency funds goes into safety need. But before you can get an emergency fund, you gotta fulfill your needs. You know what I'm saying? You gotta fulfill them basic needs. You know what I'm saying? But after you do that, you can go to social love and belonging. And this is about friendship, family, love, like the love life, all that. But it's kind of hard to love someone when you can't feed yourself, right? I mean, unless they feed you, it's different. But if you can't feed yourself, how are you gonna focus on loving someone? I told one of my exes one time, I said, if I didn't have money, I would never talk to you because I'd have been focused on this. You know what I'm saying? I'd have been focused on these. I wouldn't have been focused on that. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta focus on this shit in order for the most part, and you can't skip around. But friendship, intimacy, family, acceptance, sense of connection. You wanna feel connected with your community, connected with the people around you. You wanna feel. Have you ever been in an environment where you really liked the environment versus an environment where you didn't like the environment? An environment that you don't like, you probably don't give a fuck about connecting with nobody. You probably don't give a fuck about intimacy. You probably don't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? But if you're in an environment you like, you're gonna want to connect with people. And when you are in that environment, you're gonna feel better about yourself. Just because you're connected with other people, you're gonna feel more accepted. And people are more productive when they are accepted in the environment, right? If you go to school and you don't like the school, you're you're less likely to be productive. You're less likely to be productive in an environment that you don't like versus an environment that you do like. So this goes into your environment, right? A lot of it is environmental. That's another thing he left off. A lot of it is environmental. It's environmental because these are all environmental. Because friendship, what if you're in a place where you don't like them, the people? You know what I'm saying? What if you're in a place where you don't want to connect with them? What if you're in a place where you don't even care about being accepted for real? You know what I'm saying? But I digress. Sense of connection. You know what I'm saying? When you are connected, you're in a place that you like being. You're in a place where you feel accepted. You're gonna be happier, right? If you're in a place where you're accepted, if you know people, you love those people, you have intimacy, all that, you're more likely to be happy, right? The need for love is a human need, right? We all need love in some form or capacity. You know what I'm saying? So I want to fulfill that because I mean you can't skip, but you want to fulfill that because it makes sense. And then after you get the love, the intimacy, the family, or this could be creating your own family as well. To make that specific. create your own family acceptance in your environment. You get a new job, you feel accepted, you feel like you connected with people, you feel like the love of your life, all that. So after that, you're gonna want to focus on self-esteem. You've been working in that environment that you like. You've been having your lady, your man, whatever it is to you. You've been having them. You feel connected to them. You feel connected with your community, all that. Now you focus on self-esteem, and this is gonna lead to confidence. Both of these are gonna lead to confidence, right? If you have a sense of connection and friendship, acceptance, family, intimacy, you're gonna feel confident. You're gonna say, okay, in this environment, I'm thriving, so it's gotta be built for me, so I can do good. You're gonna glow different. You know what I'm saying? When you're in an environment where you accept it and you feel accepted, and you're happy, you're gonna glow different. So, in self-esteem is gonna lead to confidence as well. You're gonna focus on your self-esteem. Just a lot of this is career-wise. You're gonna want recognition for what you've done in your life. The career path that you chose. If you're doing real good, and you're gonna want recognition, prestige as well, status, validation of achievement, fame, and respect. You're gonna want respect for all the things that you've done. A lot of this is about being respected or feeling like you have accomplished a lot with the time that you spent on earth. You know what I'm saying? So you feel like you've done a lot. You feel respected. You got high self-esteem. That's boosting your self-esteem. You feel like you're doing good. You feel like you want to feel like what you do matters. You want to feel like what you have done matters. You want to feel like what you have done is important. Nobody wants to do work that they don't feel is important, right? You don't want to work or do life work or any type of work that you don't feel is important. I mean, sometimes the money can blind you, but it's more fulfilling. It's more satisfaction from doing something that's fulfilling or something that boosts your self-esteem, right? If you sold 500 houses and you rank number one, you know what I'm saying? You're gonna have high self-esteem because you're the number one house seller in the world, number one realtor in the world, right? So, self-esteem. And then after you can do that, you can achieve self-actualization. And this is a self-fulfillment need, right? We all want to, I can't say we all, because there's no absolutes. Majority of the people that I would say I know, they want to become the best version of themselves. I hope you watching want to become the best version of yourself. I hope you watching want to become the best version of yourself. But before you can do that, you have to transcend needs. And this is marked by creativity, expansion, potential, fulfilling your potential in life. Finding your destiny, finding your role in life, finding out why you're here, doing what you really love to do, authenticity, wholeness, purpose. Just find your purpose. This is feeling whole, feeling like you belong, feeling like you're doing what you were put on earth to do for the most part. Feeling like this, whatever you're doing is what you're supposed to be doing. So self-actualization is how you fulfill it. I mean, this is what Maslow was talking about. You can't jump around. Is what he didn't tell me. He said you gotta go straight up, but it's not true. You should go straight up, but sometimes you're gonna jump around. Sometimes you're gonna meet the love of your life when you fucking 18, right? Before you even get a job, you're gonna meet them, and you're gonna try to love them and do that at the same time. I mean, when you're starving and all that, you gotta eat, right? But some people have safety needs before. You know what I'm saying? Some people are born above this level. You know what I'm saying? So there's caveats to it. A lot of caveats to it. But if you're like me, you started down here. You moved up. And I know for a long time, it was the here. I kind of jumped here and then here. You know what I'm saying? So I'm still kind of trying to skip this level. You can skip levels, but it's always going to come back to you. I learned if you skip a level, it's always going to come back to you. If you skip the need for stability, the need for security, at some point you're going to need it. You're gonna need that extra cash you should have been saving. You're gonna need the health. You know what I'm saying? Because when you're 65, well, not 60, when you're 40 and you got heart attacks or bad things happening to you, you're gonna wish that you didn't skip the level where you took care of yourself. So I mean, we all kind of want to feel validated based off what we've done. If you're the best at what you do, you definitely want to be known for it, right? You definitely want the recognition from it, right? If you're one of the best, you want to be known for it because it's the notoriety. It's gonna lead to more, right? The most skipped step out of all these has to be safety needs. A lot of people skip safety needs. They don't really focus on the health. They don't focus on stability. They don't focus on the security. This is the most skipped step besides this one, but you can't really skip that. That's like at the end. So this is the most skipped step. Make sure you're not skipping this. Make sure you're not neglecting your health. Make sure you're not neglecting your future. Make sure you're not neglecting saving. Make sure you're not neglecting investing. If you know how to invest or want to learn how to invest, you're not neglecting that. You're not achieving this short-term dopamine or the short-term gratification, because everything in a society is due for short-term gratification. Drive-thrus, fucking your phone, TV, everything you build for short-term gratification. Make sure you're not skipping this one. This is the most skipped one. Most people want to go from here to here to here. or here to here to here. Most people want to skip this one, so don't skip safety needs. Whatever you do, don't not skip safety needs, because it's important, because you're always going to need that. At some point, it's going to come back to bite you in the ass. At some point, whether you're 40, whether you're 24, whether you're 33, it's going to come back at some point. So don't skip that, especially with social media. You know what I'm saying? People want to go from, oh, I just ate, but now I'm about to get on social media and try to, you know what I'm saying, feel good about myself. Try to be social. Try to feel like I belong. But you're skipping the steps before you even build the foundation, when you build this, when you get your health right, when you get your security, stability, you're going to feel like you belong so much easier. You're not going to, imposter syndrome, you're not going to feel like you're forcing it. You're not going to feel like that. You're just going to do you know what I'm saying? You got the backup, you got the cushion. You know what I'm saying? If shit happen, if you get fired, if your job fires you, you got the backup. You're not going to stress, you're not going to worry, you're not going to, you know what I'm saying? So don't skip safety needs. And back to the last video, if you're like everyone else, you cannot achieve self-actualization. It should all be our goal to self-actualize or become the best version of ourselves. But if you're just like everyone else, how could you become the best version of yourself? You're going to become the best version of whatever the fuck the other people you're following is. And that's not you. It's not the same thing. Whoever you follow is not the same thing as you. But you want to self-actualize. You want to focus on moving up the ladder. Taking your time. You know what I'm saying? Do things that make sense. Don't just follow the crowd because it feels okay in the moment. When you become lost and you don't feel right, that's gonna be why. And if it's not now, then in the future, because it's gonna happen. Like, it's only a matter of time. It's not if but when. So don't be like everyone else. To the last video, you want to self-actualize. You don't want to follow people. You don't want to skip the steps. You don't want to try to get love so early. You don't want to try to just feel good about yourself all the time. The way to feel good about yourself is to make your in-self feel good, if that makes sense. For you to feel good about yourself, you have to make yourself feel good. You can't seek for external validation. You got to seek internal validation, which is what I said a long time ago. I don't care about external validation. I know what I am, so nobody can ever take that from me. Nobody can ever, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be like this, you know what I'm saying? So, thanks for watching.